Good evening everyone, I'm James Ford-Bannister, BAFRA Director of Training for 2020 and 2021. In this video we will revisit question 72 from the 2020 BAFRA Annual Examination. So, let's break down the question. It's second and goal at Team B's 8-yard line. A10 receives the snap and passes the ball forwards towards A81 who is near the sideline. A81 jumps into the air from an inbounds position, across the sideline, and while still airborne, bats the ball towards A85 who is positioned in the end zone. To prevent A85 from catching the ball, B12 pushes A85 in the chest and also bats the ball away and out of the end zone into the field of play where A52 catches the ball and is downed immediately at Team B's 1-yard line. Now this is quite a complex play with a lot going on, so let's take a look at it visually. The centre is going to snap the ball to quarterback A10, who is going to throw a legal forwards pass towards teammate A81, who is going to jump from an inbounds position near the sideline and bat the ball forward while still airborne towards teammate A85. Meanwhile, defender B12 is going to come in and block A85 in the chest to get in the way of the ball and bat it out of the end zone, where A52 is going to receive that ball at the 1-yard line and be immediately downed. So there's an awful lot of batting going on in this play, but is it legal? Well, Rule 941A tells us that while a pass is in flight, only a player who is eligible to touch the ball may bat it in any direction, with the exception of Rule 942, which relates to backwards passes, which this is not. So A81, who's an eligible receiver, jumps from an inbounds position and bats the ball, so therefore that's legal, and defender B12 also bats the ball, this time from the end zone, back into the field of play. Now you may be thinking of Rule 941C, which states no player shall bat other loose balls forward in the field of play or in any direction if the ball is in the end zone, but this relates to other loose balls, and therefore it is legal because this is a forwards pass in flight. Equally, you may also be thinking that B12 giving A85 a shove in the chest may well be defensive pass interference. However, Rule 738A tells us that during a down in which a legal forward pass crosses the neutral zone, illegal contact by Team A and Team B players is prohibited from the time the ball is snapped until it is touched by any player or an official. Now we know here that A85 has batted the ball, thereby touching it, and that means that B12's actions against A85 are perfectly legal. Now right at the end of this play, you'll notice that it's A52 who catches the ball. But shouldn't A52 be ineligible by number? Well no, Rule 735 tells us that when a Team B player or an official touches a legal forwards pass, all players become eligible. So B12, by virtue of batting that ball from the end zone back into the field of play, made A52 an eligible receiver. Now you could talk about an ineligible player downfield, but A52's presence prior to the pass is not mentioned within this question, and therefore is not a consideration. So what do we know? Well, after all that, it turns out we have a completely legal play, with A52 catching the ball and being downed at Team B's 1-yard line. So what will the next down be? Well, it'll be third down, as the previous down was second down, and there has been no scoring play or change of team possession. Which yard line will the ball be placed on? Well, it's going to be placed at Team B's 1-yard line, where A52 catches that ball and is downed immediately. And what is the game clock status? Well, the game clock is going to continue to run, as A52 has caught the ball in bounds and there is no other reason to stop the clock. Thank you for listening to this breakdown of question 72 from the BAFRA Annual Examination of 2020. I hope that you've learned something and that you return to us soon for more of these video breakdowns. I've been James Ford-Bannister, BAFRA Director of Training for 2020 and 2021.